Hello everyone, it's Tanny Games here. Welcome back to the channel. We are back with our weekly Discord Dreamsnap review video, and this time it's for the Lost in the Woods challenge. I'm very excited to get into this and see all the different forests you guys have created. There's lots of creative ways you could do this challenge with the forest theming, so I'm very excited to get into this and have a look at what you guys have come up with for this challenge. So let's jump over to Discord and take a look. And we are going to start off our submissions this week with one from Mumba Jules here. This is gorgeous. I love the orange tones of this photo. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love how it sort of represents Rapunzel when she's locked in her tower and she's surrounded by she's sort of encapsulated in this secret space in the forest actually. So I love that you've kind of done that nod to that part of Rapunzel's story. Obviously we've got Rapunzel in the snap here and she is painting a picture. It's like she's reclaimed her power and the tower is no longer a place of fear for her perhaps and stuff like that. But I love how many trees you've got dotted around. We've got a variety of different colours and shades and types, so it does really enclose this space and make it feel like we're in a forest a forest a forest. And I love how you've done the foliage here. I was obviously thinking about the foliage when I said forage but I love, you know, the glowing mushrooms, the flowers. What are these called? I was going to say the fan ones, but I think these are the fan ones. But either way, the kind of foliage pieces you've used to really make it feel very natural. This kind of cute path we've got winding through with the cobblestones. It's very beautiful. It does feel very scenic. So brilliant work on this snap. Next, we have a submission from Reese Rose. Reese Rose is actually a content creator on YouTube, so make sure to check their channel out. It does look like they are having a birthday celebration soon. They've got that stream scheduled for, I think it's February the 1st. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that fun birthday stream they have planned. But I love this. I love that it's got kind of like a Hansel and Gretel type vibe with it. It definitely feels very magical and mystical. You know, we've got the Vanellope house and the Candy house there, so they work with this kind of almost Hansel and Gretel theming. We've got the lollipops and the candy kind of leading the way through as well. Lots of magical elements with the kind of like glowing companions, the glowing flowers and mushrooms, but we still have that forest element. You can see here there's trees here, we've got trees in the background, trees off to the side here, so it does feel like it's encapsulated within a forest. I really love the Hansel and Gretel theming to this. I think it really tells a fun and creative story, so great work on this snap. And then next up we have a series of submissions from Winter Dragonfly. We have this first one here, which is this abandoned ruined castle in the forest. I really love this theming, this setup that you've done. You know, we do have the castle ruins, we've got some elements of life on the castle with the remaining bookcases and things like that. But you definitely get the forest element. You can sort of see there are trees surrounding this, so I really love that it does still lean into the forest theming. We've even got some smaller trees towards the front here in the foreground, which again just kind of makes it feel like you're in this forest. Love this pathing with the floral elements. It's the plumeria path. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Love the mushrooms as well to give it that kind of almost like mystical, magical touch. We also have Eric here, so a fun addition, and I think your character looks great. Love the outfit, love how you've created this scene. It's very nicely lit. It's a very, very beautiful submission. And then we have your second account here, which has a bit more of a focus on the castle ruins. But again, you can still see the forest elements. There are a ton of trees in the background here. So you can tell it still has that forest-like vibe. You've even got some trees growing in the castle ruins here. I love how your character's dressed in pink, very cute and girly. Love the snippet that you've got flying here, as well as the dragon. Very nicely timed submission. We've got some tree stumps here as well, which is quite nice to see. Great work on the foliage. I think the colours of this are very vibrant, so wonderful little submission. And then we have what I believe is your dad's account. You can see we've got some trees here. It feels like a bit more of a magical, mystical forest, especially with all the mushroom theming through it. I actually like how your dad's account here has this item. I forget what it's called, but it's part of Mulan's like quest line. It's an item you get during unlocking her, but it almost looks like you're carrying like a sack of goods kind of thing, which is very cool. We do have the little dragon hiding in the grass here, which looks so adorable. We've got some bioluminescent moss, we've got mushrooms. The foliage work in this snap is absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed with it. It's really good. So yeah, great work on this. It's very creative in terms of a submission. And then we have your brother's account here. So this is gorgeous. I love the trees in here. I love the Fountain of Youth as like a kind of focal point to create this kind of like center of the forest vibe, which is really fun. I do believe this is taken in the glade, I think. So could this be part of Gothel's tree? I'm not entirely sure. But either way, it's a lovely, lovely backdrop. I like how your character, your brother's character looks dressed for the exploration of the forest. They're definitely wearing clothes that would be suitable for exploring. Love the foliage details as well, you know, the mushrooms and the flowers. The owl companion is a very, very cute addition as well. So yeah, this is brilliant, brilliant work on this. Next up, we have a submission from Steph Scarf here. This is the Ellie account. And again, kind of leaning into those Rapunzel vibes using her tower. We do have this wall element here. So this is from the castle bundle. What I really loved about the castle bundle is the fact that the pieces are so versatile. You can make almost like a fencing with some of those lower pieces, which is what this looks like here. It doesn't look like castle ruins. It looks like a dilapidated brick kind of fence gateway kind of thing, which is really, really cool. Love the glowing lights from behind Rapunzel's tower. Obviously the sunset behind the trees looks beautiful. I think the tree work here is fantastic. I love the choices of trees that you've gone with. There's kind of like slight pops of colour with the orange trees, but then we've got these almost like fir-like trees and stuff like that, adding a bit more of a darker vibe to it, you know, kind of adding to the mysterious element. Love the little bit of sparkles at the bottom. I'm a fan of sparkles. I don't mind sparkles. I do get that photos can feel overwhelming, but I think this is perfect. I don't think this is too much in any sense. Love the candles, the glowing mushrooms and things like that. Just has a very mystical, magical vibe about it. So fantastic work on this submission. Next up, we have a submission from Jessica here, and I really love this. This is a very Pocahontas inspired snap. I absolutely love this. I love that you've been inspired from this Disney movie, and it definitely still has a forest-like vibe. You know, we've got a whole host of trees here. There's so much foliage. It definitely feels very natural. Great pose with the raccoon companion. I like how you've got the kind of little canoe boat in the water here. I think that was a lovely little touch. You know, the faint glow from the, I was going to say fireworks, but they're not fireworks. What are they called again? The glowing bugs. Fireflies, that's it. fireflies in the background. I think that's a lovely little addition to the submission as well. It's absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed with this. I think this is a fantastic take on the forest challenge for something that feels quite unique and different. Next up, we have a submission from Aquahex here, and this is beautiful. I love this. I think this is so cool. I love that you've got all the trees here, definitely kind of in the forest, but it kind of feels like it's a very brave inspired snap. Perhaps you're one of the three triplets all grown up, ready to be trained by big sister Merida. I don't know, that's kind of the story I'm reading into it. I love it. It definitely looks like, you know, you've set out and you're camping in the forest, camping in the woods, which does make sense actually. I think in the very beginning of Brave, they're kind of in some sort of area. I don't know if it is it's probably next to the forest. It's in like a clearing. And there's all the trees there, but like Merida's training with her bow and stuff like that, or she gets her first bow as a baby kind of thing, or a young child I should say, not necessarily a baby. Yeah, and then we've got some of the kind of like the archery stuff, the combat stuff, a few bits of treasures here, so perhaps you found some goods along the way. But I love this. I think it's very creative. It's lovely in terms of its lighting, very warm. So yeah, great job on this. And next up we have a couple of submissions here from Glitch. Great to see both submissions. Thank you so much for sharing. Love the trees here. It's definitely feeling like Beast's castle within the forest. Obviously, if you're familiar with Beauty and the Beast, which I imagine a lot of the viewers here are, obviously when Belle discovers Beast's castle, it's kind of in the middle of a forest, so really nice theming in that regard. Great work with the castle landscapes. I love the glowing lights you've created up here. I'll be curious to know which lights you've used. I assume the purple is perhaps from the Belle projector thing, from her bundle, but I'm curious about the kind of glowing, can't tell if it's green or just yellowy in tone, but I'd be really curious to know. I know you can put things up there, but I know they have to be certain items, like not every item goes up there, so I'd be intrigued to find out which ones they are. But it looks really cool. It's a great effect, like it's very subtle, because I know that's one of the problems with the spacing up there, is that you can't place every item, so some of the taller items don't work, but to create this subtle glow is really nice. So yeah, I'd be curious to know which lighting pieces you used. Great inclusion of Belle and Beast, obviously makes sense for the challenge. It almost feels like this could be like a drawbridge. I love that. We've got Gaston here. Perhaps you're dressed up as one of the villagers, the townsfolk or something like that. But I absolutely love the story this tells. And obviously you've got a lot of trees in the submission, so it definitely still has that woods vibe. And then we have another account here. This one, I love that you're leaning into the evil queen kind of look. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I do kind of like having decor challenges, is that you do get to kind of wear these one-piece costumes and stuff like that, which is nice to be able to do that. Love the foliage work with the trees here. We've definitely still got a variety of trees, even whilst having different elements. You know, we've got the cottage here, we've got the castle. You know, this could almost be like a retelling of Snow White in a sense. You know, we have the castle where the story begins, then we have the forest, and then we have the little cottage where Snow White lives with the 7 dwarfs. So it definitely has those vibes. And then of course we've got Merida in the shot. But I love it. I think it's a really fun take on this challenge. Next up we have a submission from Ev Error here, and this is beautiful. I am obsessed with this. Great use of these orb pillars. I love using the orb pillars. I used them ages ago in one of my fairy core builds, so I'm obsessed with them. I love seeing them in kind of like mystical builds like this. Great work with all the trees in the backdrop, giving that forest vibe, almost like a portal to the forest maybe. Perhaps this is the portal that leads you into the forest, or maybe from the forest it leads you into this magical place. Not entirely sure, but that's kind of like almost like the vibes, the interpretation that I have. Great work with the fireflies, you know, that bit of sparkle. The foliage work is lovely. Love the addition of the frog. I need to start using this, like when I have these kind of outdoor challenges, is just to include one of those little frogs. Because it is a lovely touch. I love the critters you've got going on in here. We have the raven in the back there. We've got the raccoon down here. Obviously, you've got the raven on your arm, which I love the choice of raven. Very matching with your outfit choice, which is really cool. I love the outfit choice, actually. I think it's really fitting for this scene as well. Yeah, beautiful foliage work. Great work here with this tracking sparkle line as well. Absolutely stunning, Snap. Next up, we have a couple of submissions from Sunny. This is absolutely gorgeous. This kind of mystical, magical vibe. We've got like this witch's cottage in the woods, kind of hidden away. You know, having Vanessa here in the background is almost like a perfect addition for that nod to witches and things like that. Love the purple tones actually throughout this. They kind of really pop and stand out. We've got the little purple raccoon. We've got your character dressed in purple. Obviously Vanessa. And then we've got pops of purple from the trees as well. So it's just really kind of nice. Again, just those elements that kind of stand out and catch your attention. Love the glow from the lamppost. It does look like we've got some water running through here as well, which is a nice touch. I love the pathing. The pathing looks really nice. It's just using those cobblestone paths that you can get from Scrooge, commonly known as rock rug. I always forget what the official name for it is, but that overlaid on top of, I think this is the Ancients pathing. It just works really nicely. It's very complementary to each other. But yeah, I love it. I love the lighting. It definitely gives me magic vibes, but definitely gives the forest theming. Great job. And then we have your next forest submission here. And again, I love how this is different. It's a very, very different direction. You know, you've got all these trees here. It's definitely giving kind of like savannah kind of vibes, perhaps oasis kind of vibes. It's beautiful either way. You know, the kind of waterfalls in the background are a nice touch. Your character looks great. Love the outfit and the posing with the owl. Love the fireflies in the background and just the vibrancy of the trees that we've got. You know, we've got those kind of more greeny yellow tones. We've got reds, we've got the dark greens. So a real variety. It feels like a very lush and full of life forest. So I think this is absolutely stunning. I also love the makeup. Again, I need to know what you all are putting on your character's eyes to make the eye makeup stand out like it does. It always looks so shimmery to me as well, which mine never does. I need to know your secrets. How do you get your makeup to look so good in game? Next, we have a submission from Curls Fantasy. I love this. I love that you got Figaro in the submission. I absolutely adore Figaro. I think he has been kind of overlooked with the addition of dragons and the Pegasus. Pegasi, but understandable because they are very, very cute. But I adore Figaro. Figaro is so, so, so cute. And I love this kind of like ruined castle, and it's like nature has taken over, has yeah, kind of taken control of this world, of this area. You know, it's nature that's come through. So we've got all the trees in the background which lean into the forest part. You know, I can see trees here on the left, the trees just behind the castle, and the other trees to the side. We do have a tree here in the foreground, and then we've got great work in terms of the foliage as well. Love how your character looks. It's like she's gone on a cute little trip into the forest, perhaps for a picnic, perhaps to pick flowers, and then has discovered this secret abandoned castle, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Next up, we have a submission from Kira, and this is beautiful. Definitely still leaning into those fairy core elements. I do see the wings, but I love how we've got the forest in the background. Like, this mushroom house is surrounded by the forest, you know, a secret getaway for the fairies and the mythical and mystical creatures that can be found in this world. So I love the colours for the foliage. You know, we've got a lot of purple trees, which work really nicely with some of the colouring that you've got here. You know, we've got the pink magnolia petals. We've got these giant purple flowers that we've got on either side. We've got the purple mushrooms, the glowing lights, not glowing lights, glowing flowers. Which, yeah, it's just all very, very beautiful. Definitely leaning into those fairy core vibes, which is really nice to see. It's been nice having a couple of kind of almost fairy core kind of challenges. Obviously we had the specific fairy challenge, but this forest one I felt really lent itself to another fairy theme as well. So yeah, great work on this. Next we have a submission from Disney Dreamer here, and this is really like a kind of secluded clearing in the forest kind of vibe. I love this. I think this is really cool and unique. You know, we can see all the trees dotted around, but we've got this clearing here where Rapunzel and Flynn are, which is really cute, kind of like they're on a little date setting. Your characters here watching on from the distance, like perhaps you've set up this date for them, I don't know. I love the critters. We've got Figaro, we've got the capybara here. We also have Stitch, perhaps another critter for the world. We have the mushrooms here and the flowers, very nature inspired, very natural. It definitely looks like we're looking into this clearing within a forest kind of vibe. And next up we have a submission from FlameG here, and this is spectacular. I am obsessed with this. So this is obviously a Smurfs inspired snap. Your character dressed up as Smurfette. This is so cute. I love this. I think this is fantastic. Obviously, we definitely have the forest element. You know, we've got all these trees here. We've got kind of like a glowing light behind the trees, creating this mystical, magical forest location, which I think is just fantastic. Obviously, the giant beanstalk in the background as well is a nice touch. I love the addition of the mushroom homes, and then also you've got the leafy kind of hobbit home here, which again works really well. It kind of, it definitely, it just has the Smurf vibes all over, but it definitely feels like a mystical and magical forest, which I think is great. Great work decorating with some of the like pine cones and the mushrooms and the bioluminescent moss. I think that looks fantastic. Great work with the magnolia and plumeria paths. I think that's really cute, you know, kind of creating this natural pathway through. I think this is a stunning submission. I think it's unique. It's a themed shot, but it's definitely still on theme for the challenge. It still works for the challenge, despite it being like kind of like a themed reference. I love the vibes of it. Obviously, I'm obsessed with anything kind of magic, fairy core kind of vibe, so this definitely leans into that. Obviously the Smurfs being sort of an iconic thing from my childhood, obviously even older than that actually. God knows how old the Smurfs is, but I remember watching it as a kid, and I imagine lots of people watched it before that are older than me and stuff. But I just think it's so beautiful. It's such a fun take on this challenge. Great way to make your submission stand out, and I just think it's beautiful. I have a couple of submissions from Amy here. We do have some elements of a forest here with some of the trees here. I do think we've got a couple of trees here as well. Or there are a couple of palm trees here. I almost missed those, but yes, we do have a few palm trees down there as well. Definitely feels like kind of like ancient ruins, your characters exploring. You know, great work on the foliage here. I think that looks really cool. but it definitely feels like kind of like a mystical place that you've uncovered, perhaps surrounded by a forest, which is a really fun little touch. I also like how you've done this pathing here towards the Fountain of Youth. I think it's the tiles from Remy. I think these are his kind of wrought iron tiles. I'm not sure which tiles these are. The zircon ones, perhaps. But it's really cool. It adds that kind of like textured pathway, which is really interesting. Love the kind of like subtle glowing lights from the mushrooms, the torches, the campfire here. It's definitely a very unique and interesting take on the challenge. And then we have this Peter Pan inspired submission here with the crocodile, which is such a cute little touch. I love that. I think that's so fun and playful. Love the work on the trees here. You know, we've got some trees to the left, some to the right, and we've got a variety of trees in the backdrop there as well. So it definitely feels like a kind of magical place in the forest. Perhaps this is in Neverland kind of thing, and, you know, deep in the forest, away from the watchful eyes of Captain Hook kind of vibes. But it's just really, really cool to see. It has those magical elements. Obviously, I love Peter Pan, I love Tinkerbell, so the vibes of this are really cool, but I love how it's still on theme for a forest submission. But we have a submission from Kamikaze, who's again kind of leaning into those Peter Pan and fairy core type vibes. Love the house choices. You know, we got the Snuggly Duckling Tavern from Tangled. I don't know why my mind blanked on that one there. We've got the Mushroom House. We've got Tinkerbell's house. So very kind of like fairy core, whimsical kind of houses. Love the forest work. You know, we've got the tall firs. We've got these dense trees to the right. Even using these trees, which are, you can craft them from the tapestries within Storybook Vale. So these work for obviously the forest feels. It definitely feels like this is a magical place in the forest. Great work with the lighting here, actually. These look great. The owl, again, leaning into those nature vibes and things like that. Very, very cool submission. Next up, we have a submission from Say Hi Joel. And I love how you've done this snap, and I love that you've got the crumbling ruins here, so we get a good view of the trees. So we're not losing that element of a forest, even with using the castle pieces, which obviously with the castle pieces being quite large, or at least some of them, you can certainly lose sight of some of the trees. So it's a great way of drawing a bit of focus into the trees. You know, we've got some of the trees here, some of the trees in the background you can see through the arch and the ruins and things like that. So I just love that. I think it's a great little addition. Love the foliage work here. These poppies look so cute. I probably need to gather some more of these poppies and remember to decorate with them, because I always think they look really nice in Dreamsnap. So I always think they really add to a shot, but I never use them myself. So definitely something I need to work on doing. I love the outfit. The outfit is so cute and so perfect for this challenge, actually. I think it's really in keeping with this backdrop and scene. So I really love your choice there to use this outfit. I think it's so, so, so cute. I love how we kind of have like stone rubble and ruins. Love the rustic vibes of this with like the... not a crate, what's this called? Like a wheelbarrow, a cart. We've got barrels here. We've got sacks of seeds and stuff like that. So yeah, I love this. I think it's really, really creative and a beautiful submission, very nicely lit. Next up, we have some submissions here from Nolan. Very excited to get into these and have a look. Definitely looks like we've got some very, very cool looking elements to this. So we have this kind of like castle here, which looks fantastic. Love how we've got the glow at the top, which again I assume is from the bell projector item. Love this with the glowing lights. I was about to ask what item this is, but I do think it's actually the lamppost. So I do think it's the top, but I love how we've got like Gaston here, we have Eric on the other side, we've got Merida and Flynn. Great work with the critters, of course, no surprise here, you know, we've got the parrot, we've got the capybaras, we've got Timon, who I guess blends in with the other companions as well. Love the outfit choice, kind of feels like a like you've been on a swashbuckling mission and discovered this location kind of thing. Love the use of these. You dig them up from Mythopia, and it's like kind of like broken swords and shields and stuff. Great little item to add in. Brilliant foliage work as well. I absolutely love how green and lush and tropical it is. I'm also really intrigued how you've done this backdrop. I assume that's more of the castle ruins, perhaps? I don't know. I'm trying to work out what parts these are, because we've got some more brickwork here. But I think that's really cool. And of course, we're surrounded by trees. You've got trees here in the background, sort of behind the castle. We've got trees coming down on the sides as well. So yeah, fantastic work in terms of foliage. Then we have your second account here. I love that you've used a broken down well. I love the look of the, I say broken down well, the kind of locked up wells, not activated wells kind of thing. I love the look of those. I actually, on my second account, the beach fast travel, I've not repaired because I don't want to, because I love how it looks. I think it looks so rustic and natural, so I love that you've got that kind of featured here. Oh, this must be from the not the Bell bundle, the Aerial bundle. It's like the beach house thing that comes with it. Oh, that looks so cool. Again, adding into those kind of like rustic vibes. I love that. Very creative. I wouldn't imagine picturing it from this angle, but it looks very, very cool. Obviously, you've got the forest surrounding, you know, which looks fantastic. Lots of greenery, which is really nice. We also have Rapunzel and Gaston, so some nice villagers just to add to the photo. But I absolutely love the foliage in this snap. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning. And then we have your third account, which again, leaning into the kind of more castle type vibe. There's definitely kind of like a mystical, magical element with this, especially seeing the rift in the sky. It really adds that kind of like mystery, kind of darkness, kind of, yeah, just essence and everything. Love how you've created almost like this circle of mushrooms. Very, very cute. Definitely very kind of like magical vibes. Great work with the critters. Love this tree here. This is the wilted kind of like cottage home. I forget what it's called. But obviously all the glowing lights on that are a really, really cute addition. Great work with the trees. Lots of trees dotted around again. Kind of like that border of trees behind the castle. But then the trees kind of follow down and surround this pathway, which is lovely to see. So yeah, fantastic work on this. Next, we have a submission from Lightspark here, who's gone for a more Wonderland inspired snap. I can see your characters very much inspired by the Cheshire Cat. You can see that with the makeup choice, the choice of the hair colour, and obviously the purple cat accessories. Very, very cool to see. We've got some villagers here, so again, it looks like you're all exploring Wonderland. The Heart Castle here to kind of represent the Queen of Hearts and things like that. We've got the Curious Labyrinth here, and then we do also have some trees set up here for that kind of forest-like vibe. Next, we have a submission from Film Brat here, and this is very, very beautiful, definitely very magical and mystical. And whilst we are focusing a lot on this ground foliage, I can see the trunks of all the trees that are dotted around. So we do have quite a dense forest here. It definitely has those mystical, magical vibes. Love the addition of the little frogs here. Definitely looks like your character's dressed for exploring a forest. And then we have the mushroom cottage here in the background, which again kind of almost like creating like this magical place that you've uncovered deep within the forest, which is really cool. And next up we have a submission from Roll Marianne, who again kind of has almost like this castle in the forest type vibe. Love how your character's dressed up as a knight. Like obviously you've been exploring and discovering. Love the foliage work with the trees. We've got so many trees here. It really makes for a dense forest, and like this place is really secluded and encapsulated within these trees, which is nice to see. Great work on the foliage here as well, with the bushes and the these flowers. I forget what they're called, but this cute little flower patch. You know, even the trees on the books is a really cute touch. And then we have Merlin's house and Rapunzel's tower adding to this sort of mystical, magical building. So great work on this submission. And then we have a submission from Steph Scarf again, and this is another alt account. I love this. This is fantastic. I love the forest work you've got going on here. Lots of different trees in a variety of shapes and colours and sizes, which is wonderful to see. It really adds to the sort of the vibe of the submission, but it feels like we've come across this secret location within this forest. You know, we've got Rapunzel's tower, we've got Flynn's home, so it works lovely with this snap. I love how your character looks. I love that we've got Flynn here, and then we also have these ruins here, like as if you've passed through these castle ruins and discovered this secret location, which is really nice. Definitely very magical vibes. It's a very beautifully lit submission. I love the lighting, I love the colours. The vibrancy of your character's hair really pops, which is nice to see. So yeah, fantastic work on this snap. And for our last snap of this part, we have a submission here from Talon, and I love this. Again, kind of like the castle lost within the forest. We have so many trees here really surrounding this forest, which is really cool to see. I'm not entirely sure which part this is. I think it's the glade. I think this is the bridge towards Mother Gothel, but please do correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be slightly wrong. But I love that. It kind of adds to that rustic, dilapidated feel, which is really cool. Great addition of Flynn. I love how your character feels like a magical fairy sprite kind of vibe. Love the use of the castle ruins and the foliage, the way there's kind of like this glowing blue vibe throughout it all, you know, with the crystals and the foliage. It's a beautiful, beautiful submission. Great work with the trees and the forest vibe. So yeah, fantastic work on this snap. So there we have the first half of the submissions from Discord for the Lost in the Woods challenge. Make sure to give this video a like to show support and love to the amazing creators of these dream snaps. I think they've all worked incredibly hard to create some beautiful, beautiful submissions. Really creative, really unique takes. They were all wonderful, wonderful to see. If you did enjoy this video, also give it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay tuned to more Disney Dreamlight Valley content. I post speed builds, I post guides, I post news updates, so anything you could possibly need to know about Disney Dreamlight Valley or anything you could need to be inspired, I am on it. I hope you did enjoy this video. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys!